Maru vs. Classic.
So this map has a main base that is pretty huge, and it's got so many different areas where you can blink in as a Protoss player. So a lot of Terran players really dislike this map against Protoss, especially because of how strong Blink Stalker all-ins are right now, with how much vision the Mothership core has, how much ability you have to use time warps to stop a Terran player before he has stim and rip his army apart and just... I mean, there's just so much flexibility with Blink right now, and on a map like this where you basically take the base that's got every angle possible to blink into, it's a bit rough.
World War P?
World War P. Plus Z a little bit.
That's so funny.
Did you see World War Z?
I didn't. I haven't read the book either.
Yeah, I didn't read the book, but the movie was decent. I enjoyed it.
I heard that the movie was not did not hold true to what the book was.
Yeah, some people always say things like this, and for me, like, I don't actually care if a book holds true or a movie holds true to a book, because for me, like, it's always just a different version of the story. It's like how many different versions of.
Well, there's also different mediums of fiction, right? I think there are some books that you can't really make into movies, right?
Right, and some even if you had a movie first and someone wants to write a book about it, sometimes it's very difficult to do as well.
Yeah, and even as another medium of art, I mean, gaming.
Right.
There's sometimes they want to make a game into a movie. Well, maybe not. Maybe you don't need to do that. In some cases, some movies or graphic novels have been made into games very effectively. In other cases, not. I mean, I see, Batman's probably the example of a storyline that's, it was a graphic novel. It was perfect. There's been enough successful Batman movies. The story sells. There's been enough Batman games because the Arkham City game is sick.
It's pretty awesome. I played it only a little bit at a friend's house, but it was fun.
Dude, I was so into Arkham City. When I was playing it, I would like wake up in the morning, like when I opened my eyes, like staring at my ceiling, and I would say, "They will learn to fear the bat." And then I would get out of my bed without being showered and play that game.
That's just what I tell myself, except they say wolf, and I just do
They will learn to fear the wolf. So we got a, excuse me, we got a,
it's a gas burst for Maru, and he gets a fast Reaper with this, and is going to come over and scout. Has a really fast reactor up.
This is the same build that we saw last time.
Yeah.
From Maru.
Just keeping it safe. Gets the Reaper up really fast, and also, last time he got a kill, he's not going to be so lucky this time. But he's trying to identify where the pylons are, where he wants to go and scout later, which is what he was able to do last game, which then caused Classic to change his build entirely, not going to Blink Stalkers. And if you're Classic and you're up a game in this series, and you're able to win a standard macro game against this very aggressive Terran player, you might be thinking to yourself, well, I'm already up in the series, maybe he won't expect me to do a Blink Stalker all-in in the second game. Because last time I tried to do it, I didn't commit to it. It's going to get into his head a little bit if I do this again. I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to do this. It's also a really good map for it, like I discussed before.
I think the map as well. Yeah, it's very good for it. And so far we see the same thing. Maybe he will do the Blink Stalker move here. It's possible.
Yeah, I mean it's all about whether Maru sees it or not. I think again, and this map, for the same reason that Blink Stalkers are really good on, because there's so much surface area for Stalkers to blink in, there's a lot of surface area for Reapers to come in, and that's exactly what we see here. Reapers can come in here and scout the Twilight Council a second time.
You realize that, like, he spotted it. You realize that basically obviously all the 32 players at a GSL are watching every game, right?
Yeah.
You realize that they're looking at this. A lot of them probably saying, okay, if Maru gets knocked out of here, I don't even have to think about PvT anymore, or just matchups against Terran.
Yeah. It's true. Imagine if you're a Terran player and you learn a lot from Code S if you're a player and you're just trying to study and see other players' builds, and you're like, oh, there's no Terrans in the round 16. I guess I have to study other tournaments. I'm on the hunt for Terran players.
Exactly. Because I like Young, but I don't think he's going to get past round of 16. I'd be surprised.
I was surprised he got out of the round of 32.
Yeah, I was. He's good, but
props to his SCV pulls, man.
Yeah, man.
He played a weird TVZ against True. We saw that one twice.
So he is going to go for Blink here.
Yeah, he's going to actually commit this time.
That's fine, because it was spotted last time, and he did it, so.
And he has, in a sense, nothing to lose because he's up a game in the series, too. Oh, that's Stalker.
No! Unless you're Terran fan, then yes.
Well, how much damage can this Blink Stalker all-in do? He's lost one of his Stalkers, first of all. Maru knows this is coming. His stim is very far along the way. I wonder if he just takes a third base now, because he doesn't... Maru is out there waiting for him. He can't really get a very forward warping point up right now. And the way the Blink Stalker all-in works is you kind of get the warping point very close to his base, and suddenly you have a momentum where you just keep warping in Stalkers. But if Maru just denies that in the first place with a small group of units, then you never build that momentum, and you're basically just... You have to do something else. It's not going to work anymore.
Yeah. Well, Blink just finished here. Got to be careful not to lose any Stalkers here. They're pretty important, what with that Blink upgrade and all. The SCV actually, I believe the SCV just got
inside. Yeah, he just walked right in.
That's embarrassing.
Somebody's off duty.
Yeah, right.
Well, these Stalkers are going to be able to chase this army down. That's a little bit scary for Maru because that's kind of his whole army right now. It's not protected. There's no bunkers up, and there's a very aggressive pylon right there.
Now, are the Marines going to encounter that pylon, though?
He's trying to actually knock these rocks down to help things out, but I don't think that's going to matter. Now he's being flanked by Stalkers. Good micro here by Classic so far.
Nice control here. Maru now chasing down that group over there.
It's just way too much Terran, I feel, though, and he's got Stim.
Yeah.
He's making sure he doesn't over-Stim, though.
Stim is not, once you have Stim out here, it's pretty hard for Blink to be as effective. Now, we've seen this from some Protoss players where they stay outside the Terran's base because the Terran has to make a bunch of bunkers everywhere to defend, and then they just, Protoss expands again.
Yeah.
Because the Terran is investing like 400 minerals in bunkers sometimes, which is like the price of a command center.
Yeah.
Just so they don't lose the game, while the Protoss is just getting more ahead.
Exactly, and we might see that. He's making pros back at home. He started to forge. He's got his upgrades coming. Maru's not really over-committing to bunkers. It looks like he's just got 2 up right now, so he's in a position where defending this is feasible. He also has Stim. Combat shields are on the way. Is he going to commit to a Blink in here? There's already SCVs ready. Great time warp on those units.
Time warp.
Oh my god, and now he's just going to kite his way back and Blink individual Stalkers down onto the low ground. That bunker on the right side helps out a lot, though.
Wow, that was really nicely done.
He's continuing to pick off some units here. Those time warps are in the exact perfect place, and here comes in 4 more Stalkers. This is looking very scary for Maru right now.
And more gateways are coming down here as well. It looks like he's actually pretty all in with this.
Yeah, he's just, I mean, he's going to get charged as well. He's basically just trying to soften up Maru's army so that when he comes with more Zealots, it's going to be
he wants to basically kick in the front door, have those Marines and Marauders in the main defending, when all of a sudden Zealots come down from the low ground.
Exactly.
With those Stalkers blinking in.
Even getting a Templar Archives right now. He can fight like this because Stalkers outrange Marines. He can blink back very easily.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for Maru to actually hold that location.
And there's not a ton of medevacs out right now. 4, the other 2 just popped out here. So, one problem is that they're healing this army. They might end up getting depleted pretty quickly here. The Templar Archives on the way here. Oh, nice blink in there.
Yep, he's just going to kill these units as best as he can with a blink out. Ooh, losing a few too many Stalkers, though, I feel. I don't think that was really worth it.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. Those Stalkers should be in good shape for the next big attack here. Armor's now started, and we have Templars being made.
Yeah, a few Zealots.
Looks like he might actually just go back and expand here.
Wouldn't be a bad choice.
No, not at all.
I mean, he's got enough gateways powered up now to defend his base. He didn't actually get to the critical amount of damage where he just ends the game and kills him with the charged Zealot, so he's already got a Templar Archives up, so he's looking at this saying, I could just get Storm, expand. Maru's lost a decent amount of SCVs. He's been forced to sit in his base and defend. He doesn't have a 3rd command center. And he's continuing to get his upgrades up right now, the +2 armor. One of his fears, I guess, as well, is that if Maru just sends 1 medevac out while he's committing to an attack, his whole base is going to be screwed because he doesn't have anything to defend back at home.
That's true. That's very true. Looks like Maru's going to be very thorough about taking out any additional pylons that are out on this part of the map.
It can be a nightmare if a pylon is just over there warping 4 Zealots to deny your
That
third
could cost
base.
you the game. A scan here, and he sees a very substantial Protoss army here. Zealot, Stalkers, Sentries, Templars. I'm curious if Maru's going to, be able to take on an army like that. Now, here's the part where Maru tends to shine is when he can harass off of 2 bases here.
Yeah.
Well, the Protoss is on 2 bases. Now, we saw last time with Classic, it wasn't easy, but he did manage to deny any real damage from being done.
Yeah, he's basically just poking here and making sure there's no 3rd base. He's trying to target down Sentries right now, very gassed, expensive units for Classic, and Maru needs to be careful not to overextend here. Baits out the storm.
Yeah. Surprised he didn't turn around sooner when he saw Nexus Cannon there, right?
Yeah.
Nexus Cannon and Psy Storm.
Side storm next to Cannon. Oh, he's going to another great
nicely
storm.
done there. And turning those 2 Templars to Archons.
And the Stalkers blink forward here. Maru is losing way too much right now. Once those Zealots charge a second time, here they go. He's actually going to try to trap some of them.
Oh, that was so sick.
Wow, incredible, but still there's just too many Blink Stalkers on the other side anyways, you know?
And he's actually going to try to shave off some medevacs here.
There's only medevacs left, basically. The Stalkers are going to blink forward here again. There's the rest of the army.
That was actually a sick micro moment there.
Yeah, that was pretty, like...
Damn, Classic's looking really nice here.
Now he's on the high ground here with Storm, Charge Zealots, Blink Stalkers, better upgrades. Maru's army is going to get destroyed.
You know, to be totally honest, if Classic wins this, he definitely deserved to. He's played so well.
Yeah.
I know Terran's having a hard time right now, and Protoss is doing very well, but I mean, honestly, Classic is playing very well. All the tools that Protoss have, he is using them and using them very well.
Yeah. You know, the only thing he hasn't really shown us is any hint of Colossi. He's just basically said, I don't need those. I don't need those tall guys on stilts. Use AoE damage I got on my Templar. And Maru's struggled time and time again to get the Ghost Tech out, especially when he's on 2 bases here and his economy is not where he wants it to be to afford Ghosts and to continue building Marauders. When you build a Ghost, that's Marauder production time lost as well in your tech labs.
That's very true, too. So he's now got the armies reunited. I don't know if he's going to attack into the front here.
It
possibly
seems,
could. He does have enough force fields.
I mean, it seems like it's a bit too much to attack into the front, but I mean, he's got a ton of Zealots, and there's a lot of high Templar.
Nice! When they hallucinated Colossus
for the
high ground.
Incredible.
Oh my god, that was so sick.
And now he's just going to continue to attack in here. 1 or 2 more storms on the SVs will eliminate most of those. And Maru is basically not even able to mine from his natural right now, whereas Classic has a 3rd Nexus on the way. Way too much AoE here for Maru to handle.
My brain just had an esports orgasm with that. At Hallucinated Colossus, that was so sick.
Yeah, that's a great way to get high ground vision there. Really impressive plays we've seen from Classic today. Really, really happy with what he's shown. Basically showing us, you know, even if you have an aggressive play, there's so many different ways to transition out of it.
Yeah.
He just doesn't overcommit to anything. He's very flexible.
Absolutely beautiful play.
And that's game. Maru's down to 59 supply. He's got a 3rd command center, but good luck mining from that when there's units killing your natural as you're just sitting in your main base with your tail between your legs.
That has left Maru in shambles now. 20 SCVs.
20 to 58. 3rd base is up.
Keep in mind, Protoss has an up and running 3rd here.
Yeah.
I mean, from here, basically, all he has to do is remake an army and then go out there and squash Terran again.
What's so amazing to me about Classic's play is just how impossible he is to read for Maru. He's got to play defensively, but then also he's like, oh, I guess I have to attack you now, but your defense is solid. You've got your high Templar. How did you get those so fast?
After I saw that Hallucinated Colossus, you know, I've said, like, I forget which player it was. I think I might have actually said that Maru was the mayor of Six City. Well, let me tell you something. For all you listening at home, Classic is the Batman that is protecting Six City. Classic is the superhero that Six City deserves.
That's exactly correct, man.
Not that they deserve it, they need, whatever. I don't know.
Whatever the quote
Classic,
is, that's who he is, man.
He is, man. He is the superhero protecting Six City right now. Whoa.
Wow. Well said.
Thank you.
That one Marauder is lurking in the main base. That's Two-Face, I guess. I mean, this is Maru desperately trying to find some edge in this game. There's these Templar for the flank here. It's just going to end Maru. Well, he's not paying attention to them. That's oops.
Unfortunately, not able to start there with the Templars coming out of the warp.
Even Batman makes mistakes.
Yeah, he does make mistakes. That's like that time in the movie where Batman fell down a few flights. Remember that? Remember how he fell down that? And somehow he was okay?
Somehow
remember how somehow that was real? Or that was supposed to be believable with Batman? Remember when Batman fell off that building in the first movie? That was what happened. And I'm like, really? He landed on a car. Are you sure he's okay?
But maybe that's why his voice is really deep.
I know that the bat suit like protects his body, but I mean,
I'm fine. My voice is a little bit deeper than usual.
I hurt my leg on I had to get surgery on my leg on my knee from a leg press machine. I'm pretty sure Batman can't fall down off a building and land on a car, right?
It seemed like he was more okay than the car was.
I know, yeah.
That's not right. That doesn't make sense.
No, that's not. It wasn't the first Batman movie. It was the second Batman movie where he does that.
It always feels like that's the first one since it was such a huge.
Well said. Okay, so Maru continues the storm here. But Zealots now being warped in. Nice denial on some of those. But, I mean, I don't know if Maru, as good as Maru is, it's going to be pretty tough for him to actually reverse the damage that's already been done.
Yeah, I mean, he's out of steam here, right? He's drawn his last cards. he's got nothing left to pull from. I mean, he does have that third base operating, but with a very low economy, he's literally half the worker count of his opponent, 32 to 64. Dark Shrine's coming up. He's got no turrets up. He can't even afford to make turrets if he wanted to, if he knew that he needed to.
It looks like it's time for Maru to, Classic, to just go ahead and try to assert his dominance on the map here.
Yeah, just end him.
Right? I mean, if he takes out the third, actually, I believe there's Zealots attacking. There are Zealots attacking the third right now. So
the only reason why Maru is still alive is because Classic hasn't made any stalkers to help chase. So the kiting is what's keeping him alive. But eventually, those ranged units will.
Oh!
That's what he wanted to do with those Templar earlier, I guess.
Yeah.
Didn't work out, but Maru is basically hanging on by the thread of a thread here. He's trying his darndest to survive, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter anymore. Way too much Protoss and not enough Terran.
All right, Archon's now pressing forward here. It looks like this this is going to be it. The Immortals and the other Archon in the back here. GG!
Yet another Protoss player in the winner's match. Classic. A great series by him.
Yeah, really nicely done. Wow. You know, I want Maru to get out of this group, but I have to say Classic actually played incredibly well there.
Really, he was the better player by far.
He was the better player there. In that nice, again, a beautiful play with the Colossus to see on the high ground.
Yeah, that's something you can definitely point out a million times. Some of the really cool plays we saw from Maru, for example, was his great multitasking, his harassment, his repairs on his medevacs. In Game 1, you know, he didn't get the momentum he needed, and in Game 2, he lost too much momentum because of the Blink Stalker pressure.
Yeah.
Too difficult to recover from that.
Beautiful, beautiful games there. I like how he plays. He gets the storm out with the cannons. He just defends, builds up a solid army.
Yeah.
When he has the Zealot legs, the Archons, the Immortals, and of course the Templars.
What's true is he never takes the third base until he needs to. He just controls everything else, whether it's his defense or his attack. His third base is always late. It's not a greedy third. He makes sure he has 100% control over the game before he even tries to take that third base.
We're going to take a short little break. When we come back, we're going to go on to our second best of three here at GOMTV.